Once upon a time in a beautiful meadow, a bouncy baby lamb named Betty was playing with her animal friends. Among them were a cheerful baby duck named Ducky and a giggly baby rabbit named Remy. While they were playing, Betty asked her friends, "What do you think is the most beautiful thing in the world?" Ducky thought for a moment and then quacked, "I think the most beautiful thing is the shiniest, smoothest pebble in the pond." Remy chimed in, hopping excitedly, "I think it's the biggest, juiciest carrot in the garden." Curious to know more, Betty went on to ask her friend, a little bear cub named Winnie, who replied, "The most beautiful thing in the world is the sweetest, stickiest honey." Still unsure, Betty decided to ask clever Mr. Fox, who said thoughtfully, "The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart." Puzzled, Betty went home and asked her mother, "Mom, what's the most beautiful thing in the world?" Her mother, who was busy in the kitchen, smiled and said, "To me, the most beautiful thing in the world is my child." As Betty watched her mother cook, she asked, "What are you making, Mom?" Her mother replied, "I'm making spaghetti with freshly picked tomatoes from our garden, aromatic basil that we've grown together, and tasty cheese made by our neighbor's cow." Betty eagerly helped her mother by chopping the basil, and her mother gently guided her, "Remember to slice it carefully, Betty, so that the aroma remains in the leaves." They chatted and laughed as they prepared the meal. "Mom, do you remember when we planted the basil seeds together?" Betty asked. Her mother smiled, "Yes, and look how much they've grown, just like you." When they finally sat down to enjoy the meal, Betty took her first bite and exclaimed, Mom, this is so tasty. I love how the flavors go together." Her mother beamed with happiness, and her eyes sparkled as she smiled a warm, loving smile. Betty felt her heart swell with love, and she couldn't help but smile back. In that tender moment, surrounded by the warmth and love of her family, Betty finally understood that the most beautiful thing in the world was her mother's loving smile.